everybody. Today I want to show you how to refurbish a very old vintage lampshade. This lampshade's been given to me to bring back to life by a family who live in a very old Elizabethan house, and the lampshade itself dates back to the early 1900s. My client says this belonged to his grandmother and he's now in his late 60s. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for joining Susan's Craft Cabin, and let's get started. So I've taken off the braid and I've loosened all the stitching from around the top of the shade, and I'm going to do the same at the bottom very carefully, because this shade was completely hand stitched all the way down on every panel, but we're not going to do it like that. So I've unloosened all the stitching around the top of the shade. I'm going to do the same at the bottom, and then I'm also going to undo the stitching on this centre point where the fabric was joined. There's one on either side. So this shade was actually made in two pieces, and each piece was hand stitched together. I've removed the outer cover, and you'll notice how they used to line these shades in the olden days, and they would attach the lining to the outer cover before actually sewing it onto frame. We do it slightly differently these days. I'll put this to one side. We're going to be using this to make our new pattern, so we'll leave that for now. And coming back to the actual frame itself, it's old, it's very wonky, but it's still a good frame, and after all these years it can really be used again. But you'll notice that every single piece of wire has been covered with the binding tape, and it's been on for so long now, it's rotten. You can't really peel it. You can see it's all coming off. Using a pair of these little tweezer scissors or a knife, or sharp knife, all we have to do is literally try and peel it off, scrape it off. Very messy. So I'll continue this process outside, and I'll come back when every single bit is off and nice and clean. I have spent quite a while removing all the tape from the frame. As you can see, it's still quite rusty, and there are still little bits of tape that I haven't managed to remove. So in order to prime the surface, I'm going to just take some light sandpaper and sandpaper all the way around, removing any excess tape and any rust, because this is quite rusty. We don't want the rust to be allowed to seep through into the new fabric. So once we've primed the surface by rubbing it all down and removing all of the debris, then we're going to apply quite a few coats, maybe about 3 coats of white enamel paint, and that will prepare the surface for our new shade. Okay, so I have now given this frame 2 coats of paint. I will need it to dry properly for about 24 hours before I proceed with actually applying the outer fabric and the lining, etc. This enamel paint will protect any rust from forming and seeping into the new fabric, so the shade should last for many years hence. So thank you for watching, and the next video will be all about how to apply the fabric to the frame itself. Thank you.